I'm Dan Ackerman, and we are here taking a look at the HP Envy Sleekbook. This is a 15-inch laptop from HP that is very thin, reasonably light, kind of like, let's say, an Ultrabook, but it can't be an Ultrabook because Ultrabooks need Intel CPUs. This is a version that has an AMD CPU, so instead, HP has called this a Sleekbook, which is sort of a name they made up, and honestly, it sounds pretty dumb, but you do kind of get the idea that this is something that's Ultrabook-like. And I really appreciate the fact that they were able to take a lot of the HP Envy design cues from the more expensive laptops and bring them into this less expensive AMD version. You really get an identical body to the Intel version of this particular laptop, but this guy starts at $599, which I think is a fantastic price when you consider it's got brushed metal, it's got a big touchpad, it's very thin, it's reasonably light, and of course it's got Bluetooth and USB 3 and a bunch of other extras you would normally see maybe cut from a super budget laptop. Now there is a little bit of a trade-off in terms of performance. AMD chips for the last several generations at least have not performed on par with their Intel counterparts. But if you think about what you're doing with your laptop, you're surfing the web, you're on Facebook, email, maybe streaming some video, it's going to be perfectly fine for all of that. There's even some decent built-in graphics with AMD's current chip infrastructure. It's kind of a CPU and a GPU together on the same chip. It's maybe a little bit better than Intel's current HD 4000 integrated graphics, depending on what you're playing. You're not going to do a lot of serious gaming, but it's enough to get you through. There are a handful of things that feel a little bit cheap. The hinge creaks a little bit and it's not super sturdy. Even though it's got a metal finish, it's very susceptible to fingerprints and smudges. But if you're willing to trade off some of that fit and finish and some of the raw performance for actually a decent battery life and something that just looks a lot more expensive than $599, I think you'll find a lot to like here. I am Dan Ackerman, and that is the HP Envy Sleekbook.